15.
Well, you rightly mentioned, Mark, that Federer deliberately putting Millman into serve. He would have been hoping for a quicker start in the opening couple of points.
The other thought process, obviously, at this kind of level is the fact is that by doing so, he forces John to serve at 6 games when the balls are going to be at their slowest. No official coach for John Millman. Ian Hewitt, of course, looking on.
Game, Millman.
Such a good fortune from the home net, and the Australian up
First game.
1-1 up. Some of the younger players to go and practice with him over in Dubai at times in the off-season. Corentin Moutet, of course, who was there not last year but the year before in 2018. Started this year well. Talked about Millman.
13-15.
Mackie McDonald's been there as well. He's certain players he definitely likes hitting with, getting in the groove, respect for their game.
Dan Evans, of course, last year,
14
season, invited our fellow Brit to Switzerland, and of those names that we mentioned, the majority of them go on to find some pretty good form. I imagine it's a good boost to the confidence to get the call from Roger for some practice.
Game,
Roger calling him up saying, do you want to come and hang out at altitude? Dan thought it was a nightclub.
1 game.
Got to Switzerland and suddenly was on the court for 4 hours a day. Got to read the small print.
Sure he enjoyed it nonetheless.
That was good for him, and his redemption is clear for everybody. Good solid start for Federer. There's a big love, actually, Roger, for maximisers.
15 love.
You don't get the call up if he doesn't feel like you're a maximiser. Maybe not a maximiser yet, but you're showing all the signs for it. One of his favourite players is Ivo Karlovic. That's a sweet shot. They just won the Hopman Cup, actually, a couple of years ago, and Ivo was playing big Kevin Anderson in the final of Poon, and he came off, got on his phone, instantly dialed into an app to watch the end of the match.
Well, he was interviewed pre-tournament, wasn't he, about kind of what it takes to succeed, and listening to his coaches was pretty high on the list, but prominent there was just old school hard work, as he put it. He really recognises that he's put the work in, and he recognises it in other players as well. Easy to think that someone like Roger Federer, often described as a genius, was just born with this level of tennis that he produces.
John Millman in a nutshell.
Very interesting point, even at this early stage. Ball's still relatively new. Federer threw 3 or 4 pretty big forehands at Millman there, and he was able to stay in the point reasonably comfortably.
Game. Millman.
Impressive, very impressive from John Millman. 2-1 opening
Millman
set.
needs
Federer
to
perhaps
get
getting a little glimpse into what his evening's going to look like. And if it's anything like that 25-shot rally, it is going to be not just a long night, but a hard night, trying to find his way past John Millman. One of the tricky things that Millman brings to the tennis court is that he likes to play centrally. He likes to hit as many backhands as he does like forehands. And you know, even already we're seeing Roger trying to move around his backhand to hit his forehand. Millman in their match at the US Open stayed firmly in the middle, hit 50% backhands, 50% forehands. There won't be as many gaps tonight as there have been in his previous couple of matches for Federer.
That was a half chance for Millman, probably more than a half chance. You'd back him to make that backhand the majority of times, perhaps just overplayed it.
Yep, it's not going to be a bad serve against Millman. He does like to stand up on the baseline and then back up and then kind of give you that angle to some degree. It's got to be a great serve to get an ace, but it can get him off the court.
I think your point's a good one. Millman likes to stay in the middle. So the serves out wide. Could be a successful strategy for Federer tonight. Open the court up right from the off.
Terrific return, he was sitting on it.
30-40.
He's just got the one top 10 win. As John Millman. Lost the 16 others, but already applying some pressure here.
Use.
Did not miss by much. Started this match hitting the ball very cleanly, John Millman. He's had 2 good wins so far. Beat Hugo Humbert in the opening round, the young Frenchman who won the title in Auckland last week, so he was in good form. Followed up by beating Hubert Hurkacz, also in good form at the ATP Cup.
To try and come up with passing shots like that, you may get your reward, and he does.
Federer challenged the call on the left center service line. The ball was called out.
Millman makes his first move. His girlfriend Fee just over
Millman
Hewitt's right shoulder there. Of course, he met while he was
Federer
making some money in Germany and
in
playing league tennis while she was making him coffee. He could smell the coffee.
He certainly can. He has started this match full of confidence and full of belief. It's well worth that break of serve and a 3-1 lead. Mentioned Millman playing some German league tennis at the early stages of his career. We already touched on him being a maximizer, so to speak. He really has worked his way through the levels, hasn't he? Everything he's got in his career, he's earned. You can't help but respect that.
First futures win. Australia F4 back in March 2007, the 19th of March. First tour win was December the 30th, 2012 in Brisbane. Ito, who was
15-30.
It was a long, long time in coming.
It's a pretty clear game plan for someone like Millman when they're coming out to play Federer. They're going to pick away at the backhand whenever they can. They're going to serve their lot. He knows he's going to have to do a lot of running and chasing down balls, and he's just really coming out to compete, keep things simple. Federer, especially in another slam, he knows that that may be good enough if he could put it on the court. He knows it may not. If you've never played Federer before, you've never beaten him, you might think you have to do something that you're not capable of doing, and you can unravel pretty quickly.
Yes.
Often see Federer as flat-footed as that.
Nice change up by Millman going into the forehand.
Way too hard.
Advantage, Millman.
Millman's created that, hasn't he? Forcing Federer to overpress. You think back to that 25-shot rally, very start of the match. That sent a message to Federer. Like we said, he's not going to be able to just hit through him straight down the court. He's created some errors as a result.
This is hugely impressive. It was always going to be a little tricky tonight, and so it's proven to be for Roger Federer.
4 games to 1.
We just pull back from the CBD. Pull back on a scoreboard that doesn't make great reading for Roger Federer right now. John Millman 4-1 up in the opening set. Federer, of course, coming into this year's Australian Open, not playing a lead-in tournament. so sharp in the opening couple of rounds that nobody worried too much about it, but a difficult and different proposition in front of him tonight.
Yeah, he's keeping it pretty calm and composed at this moment, but he'll be fairly concerned, I would have thought, the way things are going so far.
15-0.
Severin, his wife, Margaret, same seats as they have been for his previous couple of matches. Doesn't have any personal superstitions, Federer.
Suggests one or two in the team there.
Might be. Right now, they may want to change seats with him. Against the other members of the Big Four. Let's throw Andy in there. He's lost a set, Andy, once to Millman, but he's 2-0. Novak not dropped a set to Millman, 3-0. Rafa, 2-0. And he hasn't got out of 3 games in a set against somebody like Rafa as well.
40-10.
Novak a couple of times he's managed to get 4 games in a set, but tennis is so much a game of matchups, and Millman clearly feels more comfortable playing Federer. And I guess, Colin, the reason is because he knows that Federer likes to play front foot tennis, and if he can just hang with him,
4 games to 2.
He can just force him to press that bit harder, go a bit tighter to the lines, and get some unforced errors.
Yeah, the matchup definitely suits him. He likes soaking up pace and using pace. Not necessarily someone who likes to generate it himself. He knows he's going to be able to use his defensive skills, and probably feels like he can outlast Federer as well. And that's one of the things John prides himself on. As clear a sign as any that Millman is feeling confident out here, taking Federer on, forehands cross court, and able to get the win. Another sign that Federer is not yet firing tonight. A 9th unforced error for the Swiss maestro. By comparison, as Federer makes his 10th, Millman has limited that error count to just 3. Remember, he's coming out in the Rod Laver Arena, his home Grand Slam against Roger Federer. It's been a stunning first 6.5 games from the Aussie.
Out. Federer returned to the call on the right baseline. The ball was called out. Forty left.
Putting him into parts
Cain,
of
Millman.
to have a good swing at the ball.
New
and the
balls,
errors
please.
keep coming.
Fifteen left. Love.
2004, 2010. In fact, he's never lost to an Aussie at Melbourne Park, 6 meetings. You can see how he's benefiting from the new balls and the extra speed it affords him.
40-11. Cain, Federer. Millman leads 5 games to 3.
Minute to wrap up that game. 25 minutes for John Millman to get the opportunity to serve for the first set. That may have just been it from Federer.
Love 15.
Needed to get traction early in this game.
Just took Millman far enough out of his comfort zone, forcing him to go for a very low percentage shot. There comes Federer, something to build on now.
Love 13.
Well, master tactician, recognising that Millman didn't enjoy that shot on the previous point, and he gave him it again on the very next point. He still had to pick him off with the pass. That guy certainly enjoyed it.
Love 14.
Gilsick, his agent, sitting a little less comfortably than he was in the previous match, when, of course, Coco Gauff, who's part of Team 8, took out Naomi Osaka. Things looking a little brighter for Federer here.
Snaps a run of 7 points in a row for Federer since the new balls came into play. You can see how Millman just has a split second less time. It means that Federer's slice has that bit more bite on it. Definitely changed the momentum in this set.
Roger Federer in a career of phenomenal shots, and on break point as well. We're back on serve. Some of the hard work done, trying to get back onto level terms, getting the break. Just 1K on average down compared to Federer's forehand. You would feel as though Roger has quite a significant advantage off that wing. Wasn't there. And he was actually up 4Ks on the backhand as well, Millman.
Love 13.
hyper-aggressive shot, given how well John moves.
Yeah, he put himself in a bit of a hole there by moving around for the forehand from well out of position. Often you see Federer sorts with the forehand.
I feel that it's not going to be that long before you see the serve and volley from him as well.
Love photo.
Still felt as though he had work to do, and so it's proved to be. It's 3 set points for John Millman. To respond here. Just see if Federer digs in here in the second set and just accepts the fact that he can't get through Millman quickly.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to sign up for some suffering, isn't he? And a few more of those long exchanges and almost earn the right to expand from there. Again there. It's hard to build an argument to say that Millman didn't deserve to win that opening set, but once Federer had broken him back, he didn't see that last game coming. You can only imagine that the Swiss had a mental lapse, thinking, well, I'm back in it now, everything's good. Poor game to lose the set.
Well, that again
15-13.
is the victory that Millman steals away, that a lot of players don't, just purely through his endeavours out there on a tennis court. He knows, Federer, that he's got to make a good volley, and it pushes him into making that type of mistake. Just not making any headway.
Federer is challenging the call on the left center service line. The ball was called in.
Third ace for Millman, and every one of those that he gets is a real bonus. His bread and butter, we already know.
40-30. Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
Another one.
Yay, Millman.
This is above average in terms of his serving right now for John Millman.
First game, second set.
Still a long way to go for Millman to win this match. He's certainly going about it the right way. There's the wide serve again to open up the court and attack the open space on ball 3.
Federer
continues to offer up cheap points at an alarming rate.
Thirty 15.
Drifting
40-15.
in, agonizingly close for Millman. Thought it made it, actually.
It was interesting that point, Federer going exclusively with it. The driven backhand, toe-to-toe with Millman.
Game Federer.
He'll be able to do that for a prolonged period. Whether keep using the slice to slow things down, ask the Aussie to generate some of his own pace and then look to step on the next ball.
Well, that serve there is very much below pace out wide. 153 Ks for Federer. He is usually around 175 for that particular serve. Again, an indication that he's trying to figure out what's going to mess with Millman's rhythm. Pace doesn't seem to be. Off pace, maybe it will.
Oh. 15-11.
Be just the 6th player to beat Federer at a major in this particular round. He's only lost 5 times, Federer, when he's got through to the round of 32 at a major. Won his other 66. This round, of course, was against Andres Seppi here back in 2015 in the Australian. Italian getting him in 4 sets there. His other losses coming to Kierton all the way back in 2004 at Roland Garros. No disgrace to losing to the great Brazilian on a clay court in Paris.
Seppi's game and John Millman's. The Italian, very solid off both wings, moves well, tough competitor. You've got to put him away and beat him. He's not going to give you a match.
Twice here in Australia. Before, of course, Federer became Federer when he won Wimbledon in 2003. That was in 2000 and 2001 against the Frenchman and Juan Carlos Ferrero at the US Open. Decent caliber players still having to get him at that stage.
John Millman.
Decent caliber coming off the strings of this man tonight.
Millman leads 2-1.
Some amazing upsets. We may still have another one coming our way.
Please. Millman is challenging the call on the left far sideline. The ball was called out.
Again, just looking at Federer's pace there, 144 second serve. He's been averaging 157 on his second so far, which is normal for him. He is definitely searching for the elusive pace that's going to trouble
Millman has
Melbourne.
2 challenges remaining. Thirty 15.
Serve into the corner there.
40 15.
Second serve statistic that we saw prior to it will be concerning for Federer. Getting just 36% of second serve points in this match so far.
Game Federer. 2 games old.
Intrigue keeps coming.
Every new situation that Federer throws at him, if he can come up with the answer, he might be able to prolong his advantage in this match. Beautiful pass there. Federer continues to search for the repeatable tactic in this match.
15-0.
Once again, just giving Millman a different look. The first time we've seen that hitting in on the second serve return. We know how nice his feel is. Little help from the net.
Very simple plan that he has, and it just gives him total clarity. Ball comes to backhand, let's go drive fast cross-court backhand, and Federer is the one that's getting himself out of position time and time again tonight.
I think that's a great play from Federer, bringing Millman into the net on his terms. It's not where Millman wants to be on the court, with Federer lining up a passing shot.
Federer challenged the ball on the right far sideline. The ball was called out.
Felt like the call came very quickly, which I think was a little bit off-putting for Federer, which is why he went for the challenge, but
40-30.
close.
Federer has one challenge remaining.
Another very cheap point for Millman.
I don't think Millman's heard the call
Millman is
here.
challenging the call on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
Well, if he ends up losing this game, I wonder if he's going to just be a little disappointed that he almost didn't take that one that Federer dug out as a smash. He waited for it to bounce, and that is long. And he had nothing to work with on the two-hander.
Use.
Yeah, I'm with you. Federer came in on
Millman
a
has
prayer without
one
much
challenge
hope, didn't
remaining.
he? But he somehow dug something out and made it awkward for Millman. There was a chance there to take the ball out of the air and would have been able to generate a lot more pace with it.
There's a big chance.
Advantage. Millman.
So
Cain,
well, lots of
Millman.
big points tonight. Accurately, that was pacey, 196.
Millman leads 3 games to
Chaos is
2.
fastest of the night. Still a lot of Federer believers in the stadium right now, and understandably so. He's come back from much worse situations like this, but the more those kind of moments slip by for him, the more the pressure builds, and it gets tougher to produce the type of shots he needs to. In terms of average
15,
run
yeah.
length in the second set, he's now up to 6 compared to 5, so he is trying to play a little bit more passively and try and create a little bit of room for some of his attacking tennis. Millman has him tonight as well on the forehand. 127 kilometers per hour compared to 126 for Federer.
30 left.
Federer going bigger off both wings than he has done so far in his opening couple of matches against Krajinovic and Johnson, which again tells you something about the fear factor down the other end, trying to just get through Millman's defenses. But that ramping up of power is
30,
contributing
15.
to all those unforced errors that Colin was talking about. And there's another one to add to that concerning collection.
Yeah, 22 now for Federer. He's just got to raise his base level, you feel, as much as it's about figuring Millman out. Got to get his own game going. Set of tennis balls,
30
as
all.
slow as they're going to get, and Millman is sensing his opportunity here.
Well, that seemed like a very predetermined strategy before they walked onto court. If you get yourself in this situation, look to do this.
Yeah, but I'm questioning here, did he need to do it? Federer's been offering up errors. Wondered in the first set whether there would be a specific moment or a special point that might spark Roger Federer into life. I just wonder whether those 2 points might combine to just put the first seeds of doubt in Millman's mind. Is he going to be able to finish the job here? Arguably should have won them both, certainly that last point. Millman just has to wipe the slate clean here. New balls in play. Broken in the first set. Federer had served one game with the new balls, although it only lasted a little over 50 seconds. And then able to break through the very next game on Millman's serve.
15.
70% of his first serves going in tonight for Millman. Roger's still at a pretty healthy 63, but he did serve at 72% through his first couple of matches, so that has dropped a bit. Drop back a little bit on the return. We saw it a couple of times the other night against Krajinovic, and you just wondered whether it was for later in the tournament when Federer needed to do something a little bit different. And right now you kind of feel he's getting jammed. He's hit a lot of off backhand returns from the Jew side on the second serve because he's worried about John's slider out wide, so he's trying to cover it. Millman doing a great job of protecting that serve.
Just a little bit tight from Millman there. Quick to go to the towel just to try and give himself an extra few seconds to reset mentally.
Thank you.
That's a great serve after the tight double fault. Probably would have picked it going out wide there for that little bit of extra control that the slice affords you. Millman, full of confidence, going big down the tee, getting his reward.
I say fastest serve of the night. That doesn't mean exactly that. Faster than Federer's. Serve, he keeps applying pressure, and you do feel as though his reward is coming. It has been a perfect day here for the fans as well, weather-wise. Some terrific matches, some great upsets. The drama continues.
Length for service.
On his feet there, trying to energize Federer, possibly trying to encourage him to use this short slice more. Every time he's employed it, it's brought him dividends.
quick look.
30-15.
He's pointing to only one man there. It's got to be Leighton Hewitt. The great Aussie, of course, known for one of the best lobs of all time. And Millman pulled off a pretty special one there.
40-15.
Straight sprint across the court, and then back behind him was only going to bring one result, which was a hold of serve. Here is Federer backing up, waiting for something different. Here it came. Not the result he wanted ultimately, but at least giving Millman a slightly different look.
Just wonder whether Federer is able to apply that strategy for long enough. It's so unnatural for him to just be patient in a point. He always wants to be dynamic and creating something. So far, he's just everything that Millman's wanted. It's targets, it's errors.
40-11.
Yeah, he's confused. He's just unable to play it on his terms, and that's a real tribute to this man's performance tonight. As it was in New York, it was hot, it was humid, it was heavy, it was a similar kind of circumstances in terms of the conditions. Federer unable to get the ball through the court. To within 2 sets to love lead over Roger Federer.
5 games to 4. They
had a far better start here.
Left for service.
See the first serve and volley point from Federer as well.
Trying to be up on the baseline there. Just a little bit too keen to make his move.
Fans, they are definitely not to be described as indifferent. Incredibly awkward return from Federer there, but Millman did a great job. Again, keeping two hands on the racket. But able to get that one up and down in a hurry over the high part of the net. A lot about the various tactics that Federer's trying here. We saw him way back in the previous return game. He was up there. Whatever tactic he goes with, he's just got to get himself going, doesn't he? Get himself energized. He's worrying so much about Millman here. I think he's forgotten his own performance. Does Federer just sense a slight weakening in the resolve of his opponent?
Millman is on to the call on the left baseline. The ball was called in.
Well, this is a big Hawkeye challenge. We are a long way away, and I'm loath to go one way or the other here prior to seeing where it actually landed. Millman doesn't look surprised with the outcome.
30-40.
Buying himself time.
Millman has
3
no
poor
more
points by
challenges
his high
remaining.
standards tonight has created this opportunity for Federer.
Use.
Cain going to the forehand. A big point to that ad side. Very surprising Federer to miss once he goes to the chip.
But again, just great character shown there from John Millman. Not many players of his ranking would go out there and trade forehand to forehand with Roger Federer and back themselves to come out on top.
Certainly not 5-all juice. Impressive, John Millman.
chances have come. They've gone for Federer to assert his dominance on this match. And once again, serving to stay in this second set.
Volley patch, but there wasn't an awful lot on the serve. 174 kilometers an hour. It's not going to trouble Millman.
It's also curling into him as well. I mean, it was going to stay low. It was going to stay in the pocket. He's not one of those guys you would want to serve and volley against too often because he's up on the baseline. So if you do hit it fast, you are going to struggle to get in as tight to the net. But that's why maybe an off-pace three-quarter kick it out wide occasionally just to change things up. He loves to pull his return cross-court on the backhand, which means it's going to be low for you to have to punch it up, possibly down the line, so you may end up defending.
It's also almost exclusively hitting the return. Some other players, Stan Wawrinka, for example, who's predominantly chipping. You feel the serve volley is going to be there for you whenever you want it. Against Millman, it's a bit of a risk. Point.
Each player receives one additional challenge.
Crucial second set tiebreak.
It's one of the attractive parts of Roger's game, isn't it? Almost you feel a relic of the 80s and 90s, that type of play, but he's always seemed like a bridge through the decades. See a little bit of Rod Laver in him. Charged significance right now in the stadium. Crucial tiebreaker. Sorry, Colin, I'm saying things like now, because when your player doesn't actually end up taking it, you almost feel like those words have created a bit more pressure that aren't really there.
Yeah, and there's a letdown off the back of it. You hear a player say first serve right now, and when they miss it, oh, where do you go with the second?
You feel contributed to the attention.
Federer.
Subtle pressure being felt by Millman coming out of his own box.
He's been very engaged with them as well, hasn't he? Looking over after almost every point, win or lose.
Federer desperate not to squander the opportunity that's presenting itself here. Better sign.
4-1 Federer.
And since coming out from the sit-down at 6-5, he's consciously upped the aggression with as many points as possible on the front foot, getting into the forecourt. I think that statement started to look justified. Covered some serious ground there, Federer. There's a fair bit of spring still left in these legs at 38 years of age.
Her passion for his profession has kept him here. The longevity, very much a part of it, the combination.
Left for service.
Federer's best sequence of points in the match coincided with a little bit of pressure from the sidelines there to make it happen at that particular juncture. All made with the right intentions, but you get the sense that Millman just tightened up a little bit. 5 set points.
Federer is heading to the call on the left baseline. The ball was called out.
It's a very late call, wasn't it? Which usually encourages the players to challenge, but it did look beyond the baseline.
I think his box indicated it was out as well.
(6-2) Federer.
Second set in style, 7-6.
1 set all.
Set apiece.
(15-love). (15-all). Third set.
Well, he put a little extra on his serve in that tiebreaker. Just getting some numbers from Hawkeye. 11 Ks quicker on average on his first in that tiebreaker from Federer. Took away Millman's time, the most precious commodity any player can have.
I feel like in the closing stage of this set, just got back much more to what he knows and what he does best, and the reason why he's won so many titles over the year. Extra pop in the serve, extra zip off the ground, taking it early, coming forward. He's probably over-respected Millman, which is the reverse of what you usually get in a match like this. And the underdog has a tendency to overplay and lose track of what they do best. Federer seemingly back on it now.
Game, Federer. First game, third set.
Needs to temper the intensity here. He almost wants it a little too much, John Millman. Understandable.
Yeah, and he does. And I think for the first time in the match, Federer's got him a little scrambled. He was just within himself for the majority of the first two sets.
$15-all. $30-15. Fault. $40-15.
Just a sign of frustration there from Federer, no wonder.
Game, Millman. New balls, please.
Well, Federer coming at him. Used all his defensive skills to pick him off and strike on the counter.
Beautiful footwork. Great strength in the legs to get down there and just be able to hold the position through that shot from John Millman.
$15-love. $30-love.
So good at seeing spaces on the court to hit the volley into just as a complete winner. Yeah, I know he doesn't play much doubles, but when you watch him play doubles at places like Laver Cup, how good he is on the court just to slot volleys.
Able to track that one down.
30-15.
His volley, so many players would have been attracted to the open space. Probably would have been picked off by the player hitting their running forehand. Federer's just got a clarity, clear picture of the court, where his opponent is.
Thank you.
Definitely coming in a lot more now at this stage of the match.
Millimetre perfect with a number of those ground shots. John Millman, he was looking for the length, maybe a little better than even he imagined as he was striking them. Certainly kept Federer off the front foot there. Where the certain volley helps, just takes your opponent's eye occasionally. It doesn't always have to be successful as the one in this game was on the second serve, but you got to do it at times.
Yeah, it's money in the bank, isn't it, for later? And Millman just overplaying, overswinging on the return there.
Jannik Sinner.
He's not going to ease through too many service games. He knows it's going to be an evening with a lot of hard work.
2 games to 1. La 15. $15-0. $15-30.
Doesn't take much. Just a flick of good fortune going Federer's way here, and the door just opening a little bit for an assault on the Millman serve.
Continues to have an above average night on serve, John Millman. Quite as healthy as it was for the first set and a half, but serve percentage for the match, 62%. It's 173% of first serve points, 59 on his second, which is very healthy by his standards in a match of this nature.
He's definitely got something in his game that bothers Federer in terms of reading it. We saw it early in the match on a forehand where Federer was guessing into that side, and again there, Federer just reduced to being a spectator to the winner from Millman's racket.
Use.
It's quite unorthodox technique, isn't it? All areas of Millman's game. Very compact, especially on the backhand. A fair bit of left hand on it, just at the last second, able to flick it either way.
Advantage, Millman. Cain, Millman. 2 games all.
Something that very few players have managed to do against Federer. That win in the US Open as well at a major was to come back having dropped the opening set. Roger, so good when leading across the tour and obviously at the majors as well. At that stage,
15
it was
love.
just the 15th time that anyone had managed to do that to Federer at a major. He's won 316 matches when he was up a set. Subsequently to that, of course, Tsitsipas here last year did the same. Control of a tennis ball. Will it lead him to control the match
15
as well?
So impressed tonight by the way he's actually been able to dictate a good number of points. It's not just all been about chasing the ball and surviving out here on the court.
He
Pushed it just wide, but once again, to go back to your point, Mark, Federer had no idea where that pass was going. Rooted to the spot as it flew past him.
Led for service.
Just lacking a bit of composure on that shot, Millman, for the first time tonight. He really tried to do something that wasn't on.
Cain,
Trying to
Federer.
get that one. He just nudged it wide as Federer edges ahead. The conundrum
Federer
that
leads.
has become John Millman for him at Grand Slams.
Clearly
15 love.
he's unsettled by Millman's game. You mentioned at Grand Slam, Millman of course winning their only meeting in a slam prior to this 2018 US Open, but even their other meetings, 2015 in Brisbane, Millman able to win the first set there before going down in 3. And on the grass in Halle last year, took him close 6-3 for Federer.
Interesting his second serve to me on the due side, how much he's gone
15 all.
body forehand. He's been very clever at not giving Federer that blocked return. You can see what it means in terms of there on the ad side when Federer does get it. It's not something that John really wants the ball down there. He's going to put a lot of spin on it. It's going to suddenly sit up for Federer. You can see ball he wants coming at him, up around the waist. He doesn't have a great slice himself, and he doesn't want to get into those kind of exchanges. And there you can see, as we say, look at Federer using it almost a third of the time, the slice. Millman really just digging them out when he's got no other alternative, because he wants to drive through it. And so credit to him for being able to protect his second serve in the way that he has.
(40-15).
I feel that's a mistake a lot of players make when they come up against Federer, is over-serving his backhand. There's no doubt once you get into the point, you've got to be very careful when you go to the forehand, pick and choose your moments. But on return, I feel he's more comfortable hitting through the backhand than he is the forehand return, and probably the chip is more reliable in that wing as well.
Yeah, Leighton actually very flat server on the second serve, you know, gets the ball through, and you can understand why he had some considerable success against Federer as well because of that.
And there's that second serve into the forehand body. It's the error once again.
3 games over.
Again, it's impeccable length from Millman. Federer's just never been comfortable in the toe-to-toe exchanges from the baseline.
Himself just condensing the angles there as well with the second serve. He's got hurt a lot in the opening set, in particular with the kicker out wide. John just drilling the cross-court backhand, and he was almost half a step slow catching up to it. Again there, just forcing Millman to have to go a little more central with the return. Not something you necessarily practice all that much, the serve followed by the overhead.
It's just so dynamic, Federer. Complete trust in that overhead. One of the best of all time. Was going, recognised that the percentage pass for Millman was down the line, and he was wise to it.
He was trying to create a little mini masterpiece, wasn't he? Just failed with the final volley. Again, the tenacity displayed by Millman, you can only admire it. Great spot serving for Federer, and it's Millman who finds himself in a tight spot in the third, trailing 3-4. Millman trying to make a late charge to put his name amongst it. flick off the net, but that was just brilliant from Millman. Creativity
15
up there
love.
with Federer this time.
Once again, it's the backhand from Millman in particular that I think Federer really struggles to read. You can see there's a split-second flick of the wrist to direct that ball. Federer not picking it up.
Some serious pace being injected into those shots. Much more positive on the return there. Through the court in a hurry, rushing Millman. Struggles at times when the pressure is absolutely at its maximum on a night like tonight, is that Federer didn't have a lot of fear that he was going to come in. He could caress the ball mid-court and hold his position and just ask the question. That time Millman faltered and Federer has a break point. Destiny, but he was waiting for the error and it didn't come.
Magnificent from Millman. I actually quite like the play from Federer, asking Millman to generate his own pace under pressure. But didn't he produce the goods there? Majority of the crowd as well. That was absolutely exhilarating from John Millman. Federer obviously played his part. And to come up with a shot of that composure at the end of a rally and a sprint like that from John Millman just speaks volumes about him. advance to the 4th round here. But even if he doesn't, he can look back on that game with some pride. Really dug his heels in.
Federer not with long to recover his own breath here. He will hope for a couple of quick points here with some accurate serving. Heart rate will be up. And because of that, you kind of feel the location of that indicates he hasn't quite physically recovered from the exertions of the last 2 points.
Out.
Oh, and he's got one.
Millman is
A
on the
real
hole on the
gift
left
from
base.
Millman after
The ball
what's
was
just
pulled off.
unfolded there. And he'll be thankful that Millman's challenging this, Federer. That was actually a bit of a mistake from the Australian.
I'll be on the baseline and giving Federer some time just to
15 love.
recover and compose himself.
Millman has 2 challenges remaining.
Federer's trying to shorten the points there with a serve and volley.
Fair to love.
Channeling his inner Nick Kyrgios there. Faking for the drop shot. Slice drawing the error.
Federer is into the call on the left baseline. The ball was called in.
As we wait for this challenge, I think one thing's been very apparent tonight. Possibly what Federer struggles with is Millman's willingness to go into his forehand. He's caught the edge.
30-15.
Federer loves
Federer
it when
has
players just come
2
out and try and
challenges
hit
remaining.
everything to his backhand because he's comfortable there, use his slice, and he's at his best when he's moving to his left to hit the forehand.
(40-15).
Contest. Riveting, can't take my eyes off it. 5-4 Federer in the third.
Hard to believe, but he has. Very difficult to maintain your balance on that kind of shot and pinpoint accuracy. Once again, Millman picking away at Federer's forehand. And against the grain. It's working for him.
Out. 40-15.
of his first serves going in this third set for John Millman. Federer digging into his bag of tricks there just to introduce something a little different. Better than Roger Federer.
Just a ridiculous shot, isn't it? Millman actually hit a really good ball here, got it deep in the court. It's just a shot that you can't teach. Raw ability.
Advantage, Federer.
And the introduction of that little nuance from Roger Federer has contributed to a bit of confusion down the other end for John Millman. And the double fault opens up the door for a 2-1 lead for Federer.
Federer is into the call on the right set of service
on the previous one, John Millman.
in.
He is absolutely, I think, on the money on the set point. Federer shakes his head. He can't believe it.
Now he knows what it feels like.
Federer has
How
one
many
challenge.
times has he done that to his opponents?
Advantage, Federer.
Urgency in Mirka's eyes there. She's desperate to take this opportunity and seal the third set. So nice to see that the wow factor is still there.
Let for service.
To Roger Federer, but it has been rich in the diversity of shot making from Roger Federer that has carried him to this lead.
15 now.
I suppose the one question that's left is there anything that Millman can do to unsettle the rhythm of Federer now?
Let for service.
temptation would be to perhaps try and change things up. What Federer's done well is he's taken care of his own service games, hasn't he? In sets 2 and 3, even though he's not been at his best, that's allowed him a platform to then strike from. I feel as if we're seeing it already from Federer. Just keep digging in, keep his level as high as possible. There's enough there to suggest that Federer may well have another dip and give him a chance to take us to a decider.
Trying to guard against it. Watching that ball through the air as well. It's a tremendous dig from Millman. Fine first serve out wide.
He's not always the most successful with the drive volley, Federer. No mistake on that occasion.
$14-15.
74K paint remover.
Use.
3 unforced errors. This game alone taking his total to 47 for the match. It's not been the tidiest of performances from Federer by any stretch.
Advantage, Federer.
Well, had to been at the extremes of his reach for both of those two serves on the due side. Amazing location from Federer. His presence felt.
And once again, he's happy to go big and fast into the Federer forehand. He's 47 unforced errors, Federer. 32 of them have come off that wing.
Advantage.
Does move away, doesn't he, from that return? He doesn't cut off the angle there and just use the pace and guide it. He does like to back up and swing, and a couple of crucial times tonight he's missed on that forehand return on the second serve.
Jannik Sinner. New balls, please.
Wasn't it? You almost feel after a game like that, Federer's going to come out all guns blazing, but he's actually come out there and he has massaged that ball up high. He's given Millman no pace.
Now to these tactical varieties that a 2-6-1 lead affords you. And he's able to execute them without making an error. It can be too much for Millman. certainly give that one a bit of flight.
15-13.
Nasser will be on the phone. Invisible force field stopping Millman coming in. Federer doing his best to try and sort of at least give himself a target for the one shot out of trouble play, but Millman just refusing to give it to him. As though Federer was making his move early in the fourth, having hung on to his opening service game, but once again, Millman magnificent. The lateness of the hour certainly not deterring anybody in terms of staying here and witnessing the conclusion of this match, whether it's in 4 or potentially 5 sets.
15 left.
Shot sparingly, the backhand down the line, but he had the court position there. Go-to pass on this backhand wing. Just a short jab, whipping the spin to find the angle.
It's a fairly ugly produced shot, that, isn't it? But it's indispensable, and it does have that element of disguise.
40-15.
Yeah, it's beauty against the beast in terms of the shot production tonight. But Millman makes it work.
With the lights off currently. Most of the cricket is played in the Ami Stadium now, also with its lights off. I believe there was a game of soccer there this evening. But all eyes on the tennis for the month of January. And all eyes on John Millman. was all about court position. The stroke play, well, that was pretty nice too. But the
15
court
all.
position was exemplary.
Yeah, and Federer takes the ball earlier than anyone else on tour. No time for Millman to make up the ground there.
That just maybe where Millman could do with playing another 5% down the line just to stop Federer cheating into that corner.
Thirty, 15.
Well, we saw a Hewitt-esque lob from Millman earlier on in the match, and there's another one. I like the way Federer just didn't overplay that half volley in a tricky situation, forced Millman to come up with a special shot, and didn't he half? Inch perfect. Broken from 40-15 up. Decisive game in the third set. Doesn't want to be pegged back to juice here, Millman.
Out of the corner of his eye, he caught the fact that Federer was loitering around in that backhand corner, and suddenly there was no real space to go into. Tried to cut it a little finer over the top of the net, contributed to the mistake.
Advantage, Millman.
The idea has been a very profitable one for him. At that time, just underhit it.
Backhand down the line, it's been used sparingly, so if he can execute it, there's space there.
Federer is heading to the call on the left near sideline. The ball was called out.
Looked as if he just dragged this one wide.
Yeah.
Definitely a familiarity between these two. We talked early on about how Federer invited Millman for some training. There's a friendship there. It's just interesting to see these little exchanges. They
Advantage
talk to
Millman.
each other like they're on the practice court almost. And
Federer has 2 challenges remaining.
God, I think that's helped Millman feel comfortable out here. John Millman has the crowd on their feet, and he's channeling that energy in a special pass to hold
2 games old.
and the reaction to match.
Federer quick to throw down a dampener on those celebrations. Trying to keep the crowd out of it.
Took a leaf out of Andre Agassi's book now, didn't he? Standing in the centre of the court and just ripping round shots all over. Great American would have been happy with that one.
40-15. Federer leads 3 games to 2.
Federer 3-2, 4th set. Still here, still very much part of the narrative as we come into majors about who potentially is going to win it on the men's side. Copy, good artists steal, and it talks about how in the past those artists looked at everybody else and just took and cherry-picked parts of their work and made it their own and absorbed it. And Federer, when you watch him play on a court like this, you look at the defense, you look at the attack, you look at the volleys. It kind of feels like that's what he's done. He has taken bits of Rod Laver, he's taken bits of Stefan Edberg, he's taken the fight of Jimmy Connors, and he's put it into his own unique package. And that package has been greatness over the last 2 decades. That's what
15.
John Millman has been fighting against all night. The pressure continues to be applied on the Australian serve in this 4th set.
Once again, though,
30 all.
he's done so often tonight. He's produced a big serve to fight off some pressure.
His resistance, his application, his tenacity has stimulated Federer's creativity tonight as well. The range and shot making that we've seen from Federer tonight has been as vast as I've seen for a long time. May end up being a Pyrrhic victory for this man.
Isn't he? I've seen him to his box all day, all day. It's going to turn into all night soon. But he's still going and he's still fighting. Has not diminished one iota out here. The door now just slightly ajar. No bad mistakes, he says to his team. Times he's cut that corner and actually produced a positive reply to the serve out wide.
set with a break to the Australian. Millman's adrenaline must be pumping after those last two shots.
Mistake. Millman. It's interesting for me again. Clear strategy from the Aussie. That break point, hammering away at the Federer forehand.
New tricks to bring into the equation tonight. Roger Federer dancing around a second serve pretty much for the first time. Slower second serve as well from the Australian, got punished.
His heart would have been in his mouth as he saw that return flying through the air. Just a little bit too much airtime on it.
Well, where we are getting to right now is the physical battle between these two. Millman coming in here, obviously off the back of the ATP Cup and Auckland as well. He's got some match miles in those legs. Federer came in fresh. That may be a benefit to him.
Fitter or more physical players on tour than John Millman, if any, in fact. 2 hours 46 on the match clock there on a relatively cool Melbourne night. I expect him to be able to go for a while longer yet.
And the pendulum of momentum certainly has swung Millman's way.
Love 15.
Talk about first strike tennis. That was over in a flash of lightning.
net for service.
Again, it's a combination of shots that's served him very, very well over the years.
Rules of physics, I think, from John Millman there. Federer did incredibly well to catch up with it. This is an inspired segment of the match here from Millman.
Use. Advantage, Federer.
Much in this game on the forehand.
Yeah, he really has. Taking it as early as possible, injecting pace. Just wonder if he is going to have to start conserving energy as this goes on.
Game Federer.
He has time with that ace. He's given
Millman
himself
leads
one
5
last
games
chance
to
to
4.
keep this 4-set alive. 4-5 he trails. Can he
Thank
set
you.
this contest into a 5th set?
It's halfway there. He meant to work really hard for the first 2 points.
Federer to serve.
General when he's played players ranked around John Millman's ranking, he does still come out on top. Physical battle that the Australian won in New York, and the heat
15 left.
Yeah, and if you'd, for John Millman, this pre-match, bit your hand off for it. Chance to
30 left.
his physical conditioning into the match. By contrast, the Aussie played 7 5-set matches, won 2 of them, lost 5. The fact that he has lost
40 left.
5 out of the 7 more down to the quality of opponent than anything to do with a weakness in his armoury. He's got short jab technique, doesn't he, that allows him to play this kind of shot where the acceleration is from so close to the ball. Just whips up the back of it.
Game winner. First game, final set.
John Millman still very much involved in who goes through to the last 16.
$15 left.
What's interesting about that 4th set, that we saw the stats, it was arguably his weakest set. Certainly on serve, the first serve really dropped off, but crucially just produced the goods in the big moment when it came at 4-all. A couple of inspired points. And able to clinch it in the way that Federer did the 2nd and 3rd.
Not an easy shot, but he is just implanting something else into the mind of Millman that he's going to have to defend against on those second serves on the ad side.
30-15. John Millman. 1 game.
There's rhythm on the first serve again there. Able to tick through a service hold.
Federer not keen to prolong that particular game, was he? That was a very high-risk backhand. He would have been happy if it came off, but some divided loyalties tonight out there. Position that he holds, he doesn't feel like he has to guess one way or the other. We talked about it in the match at the US Open. 50% backhands, 50% forehands. He's just as strong off that wing, if not stronger.
Federer
15-0.
approaches the net, doesn't get the required width and accuracy on the approach. Millman has picked him off more often than not. Very comfortable hitting the cross-court pass off both wings. Serve
15,
volley
13.
behind the second serve there. Trying to inject some urgency. Margaret can hardly watch.
So impressive. Looked like he started the rally a little bit conservatively, and he built the rhythm through it.
15-40.
And he punched a fairly substantial hole in the Federer defense with this shot.
So disappointed to miss that backhand, having got into the point, able to laugh it off. Still one more opportunity.
Millman up a break in the fifth, 2-1.
Millman leads.
Well, it wasn't going in, even if it missed the umpire's chair, but he's read on Federer's game, hasn't he? So a dangerous moment with Nadal yesterday, didn't we? Where a late forehand caught one of the ball kids. Thankfully, no one hurt on that occasion.
Change up second serve there from Millman, getting the ball up a little higher to Federer. He's got enough point of reference that he can turn this around. He's obviously just keeps urging himself off, but you don't often see him shaking his head quite as much as he has done recently.
Yeah, and I think that's the key to it. Severin Luthi doing his part to try and keep Federer's energy up. He's got to stay positive, Federer. typical biological model of endurance, and if you allow your thoughts to get negative, it's amazing how quickly you start to feel tired and drained, and he was able to really inject a bit of positivity into that forehand, and a few more of those can really help to energize him.
So precise.
And you have to say it is clutch serving from Millman. It's not his normal performance, but time and time again on big points, he is producing big serves.
Advantage, Federer.
Hasn't had any break points since the end of the third set, Federer. They've been a while in coming. Shown his hand. He jumped round a couple of second serves recently, and Millman caught him with a quicker one down the tee. Opening 11 miles an hour quicker than his average tonight, that second serve. Impressive from the Australian.
Advantage, Millman.
It's his willingness to go big into the Federer forehand that draws the error. What a returner serve that was, and it may just be enough to salvage the situation for Federer. These are desperate times. Across the face of Millman. There's been precious few of those, to be honest. It's their chance to break. very positive forehand returns with a key to the break of serve there. Response to Federer getting the break back, despite the fact that he's facing an Aussie. Feels as if the crowd are going more and more in favour of the Swiss man.
Please.
John Millman wanting a towel quickly. On the stroke of midnight, you just start wondering, don't you, whether it's going to be his second Cinderella story of his career, or is it going to be a fairy tale for Federer fans as he somehow gets out of this situation. One thing's for sure, Millman is not going to make it easy for him.
Fasten your seatbelts. This is going to be a turbulent ride from here.
John Millman, you'd probably sit on the forehand as he's done in the past, but Federer perhaps wary of it. Cannot find the serve. It actually may have been a good thing. Millman was waiting for it.
Advantage Federer.
Millman really with thoughts of winning. And perhaps those are still percolating around in his mind as he's missed that forehand. Throws a totally different complexion on the match. Skills after one of his finest forehands of the contest puts Federer back in front, 3-2 in the fifth. Federer still here, still searching for the win. John Millman, he has impressed once again.
Love.
You just feel Millman, all the resilience he's shown, he's just going to continue to keep plugging away here, isn't he? Quality match to put Millman away, and it's as true now as it was then.
His linear strikes have worked at times, but, you know, again there, Millman, he doesn't mind hustling back to the middle of the court. He was looking for the down-the-line shot. Sense that when he gets pulled out that wide, Federer better off going back behind Millman and using the angles that have created rather than trying to fire one fast through the line. About him, John Millman.
Almost, as you say, decapitated by the umpire's chair. He was at full tilt here for this one, and the camera will show he took evasive action and suddenly appeared at the other side. Good awareness from Millman.
Millman sticking to his guns. 150 points won each. From the baseline when Federer tried that slice backhand.
Just cutting it a little too fine. Doesn't need to be that close to the net. He's just really looking to make it awkward for Millman. Not necessarily hit the winner with that shot. These errors are just born out of tiredness for me.
30.
Millman has constantly asked the question of Federer to dig deep and find another level. He has been able to do it. Second set in particular. He needs to do it once again.
15-30.
John Millman refusing to miss in the big moment.
15-40.
Well, they'll be chanting there's only one John Millman in a moment, but it must feel like there's about 5 out there to Federer at the moment. How did he get that back? It's like he has a second sense where Federer's going to hit the ball tonight.
He knew it was going there, didn't he? He was waiting for it. Just wasn't able to execute on the return. So close to digging out that pass, John Millman. Federer finding 2 first serves. Off pressure. His fans can barely watch.
Advantage, Federer. Federer leads 4 games to 3.
There are some that would like to shorten this wonderful sport. I believe they're wrong. And I think if you ask every single one of these fans in this stadium right now, they would agree with that sentiment. This has been epic.
Love of team.
So often the case that when you have chances and don't take them, the very next service game you can be vulnerable.
Defending. He loves reacting to what opponents are doing. He does not really want to be the one at this stage, this juncture of the match, that is being proactive.
A smart passing shot by Federer, just going right at Millman.
Eventually at the net, he didn't really want to be there, but Federer couldn't find the telling shot.
Federer just nods his head. How he would have loved the passing shot he played the previous time he brought Millman in, just made him play a waist-high volley. See what he was made of.
Of the serve catching Federer out. He was fishing for it a long way in front of him. Another situation not capitalized on by Federer.
Just wonder.
4 games over.
This fifth set progresses longer and longer as Federer getting mental. Scars and damage from previous five-setters. He hasn't actually won one since the final here in 2018. He's had 3 defeats since, 13-11 in the 5th against Kevin Anderson at Wimbledon that year. Djokovic. Of course.
Millman is holding to the call on the right
Wimbledon
serve.
final
The
last
ball
year.
was called in.
As you mentioned earlier on, Grigor Dimitrov getting him at the US Open.
Love.
He knows he won't have to
Millman
go past
has 2
6-all here,
challenges
of course. Tiebreak to 10 if we reach that stage.
Federer is holding to the call on the right near sideline. The ball was called out.
So it did look as if it had flighted just wide.
Federer has 2 challenges remaining. It's
the 57th time Federer has come to the net in this match. For the 42nd time he's won the point. It's the game so well in the forecourt. Allowed the racket to move up instead of through there.
He suddenly has a lot to lose, John Millman. He had a lot to gain stepping on this court tonight.
New balls, please.
Force of Federer's serve, and it is 5-4, Roger Federer, 5th set.
Federer leads 5 games to 4.
But he has dealt with the pressure of players lower rank coming out and playing above their ranking, above their usual standard, and he's fended them off.
New balls.
In general. Couldn't do it against Millman in New York. Struggling to do it here in Melbourne.
Plenty of practice of that shot throughout this match. Just crucially a little bit higher, able to generate some pace. aggression that we've seen throughout the match.
Terrific, consistent, repetitive aggression from Millman off the forehand. Federer's return, though, perhaps just a little conservative. That's where Millman has been directing most of the second serves. He must have known it was coming. Throughout this match, even when Federer seemingly grabbed control at 2-1, there was no panic, he just stuck to the task. You would never really have known there that he was serving a stay in what's been such an epic match. Trying to make this as uncomplicated as he can. He's giving nothing away.
And even at this stage of the match, Federer hitting shots that have not yet seen from him. And wise to the backhand drive volley there.
Magnificent serving from Federer. 6-5, fifth set.
Federer leads 6 games to 5.
Telling you everything you need to know. Millman trying to take this into a final set tiebreak.
stick to his guns, and the conviction of striking that's brought him to this juncture.
Continues to be super
30-15.
aggressive in terms of his court position there. That is a free point for John Millman at a very critical stage.
$40-15.
They'll accept that error gratefully as well.
$40-30.
Wonderful winners for us to admire and talk about, but it is at these critical junctures that it can be the unforced errors that are more significant.
Served it well, stayed calm, and attacking the Federer forehand and getting the reward.
Use.
There is nothing easy at this stage. Nothing.
Advantage, Millman. Federer is onto the ball on the left far sideline. The ball was called in.
Loving this, isn't he, John Millman? There is no place he would rather be.
John Millman. 6 games old. Ladies and gentlemen, a 10-point tiebreak will now be played. Each player receives one additional challenge.
What an adventure this has been.
Federer has 2 challenges remaining. Millman.
Just confirming that it is indeed first error from Federer. First blood to Millman.
John Millman.
2-0 Millman. Millman.
Off his toes, Millman. Disappointing start to the tie-break for Federer. He's got to get himself going right now.
And this is where he'll be thankful this is a 10-point tiebreaker.
3-1 Millman.
Good couple of points there for Federer just to snap the momentum that Millman had built. That's the question, can you hold serve twice here?
Didn't distract Federer. Certainly seemed to. He missed it by a large margin. And the first change of ends sees Millman up the mini break 4-2.
Genuinely thought Federer's previous shot might have been long. Still holds the advantage. His fifth set tiebreak.
First service. Millman.
Can't ask for more than that. He had a second bite at it, and he changed direction, and he's hit another line. Federer on the brink here.
He
responds in kind with a fine first serve of his own.
Roger Federer raising his level when up against it. John Millman, the level he is producing in this tiebreak. 6 consecutive shots of world-class quality. This is inspired tennis from the Aussie. Space with a volley and had already taken off at full speed back behind, and he was toast there, Millman. But all credit to him.
Thank you.
Calm, and he's found another stunning pass.
He's unplayable. It's unbelievable.
Just look at him, his heart rate's seemingly about 80 right now. There's no sign of tension or pressure. The biggest moment of his career, and he is producing the best tennis of his career.
Millman.
Federer shows again that resolute belief in a refusal to believe that he is defeated. Gets this point, things get very interesting. using his racket, but also his reputation.
8-6. Millman.
Didn't beat himself this time.
The ball was called out.
He's going to challenge. He's not going to have any success. This again just didn't quite hit through the forehand in the manner that he has been doing. Forced the ball to fly long.
Eight-7 Millman. Millman has 2 challenges remaining. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
It's probably going to break your heart a few times. It's broken Federer's as recently as Wimbledon. Is it going to break John Millman's tonight at home? He looked destined to win. Match point, Federer.